Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your author Mark coming to you live with another interesting YouTube discussion. This discussion will be called the Ukrainian Report for December 18th, 2025. From what I have been reading, President Zelensky of Ukraine has rejected another President Donald Trump's peace deal. Now, one way looking at this, I understand why he did. Because one way looking at it, he does not want to lose face in front of his people. Because one way looking at it, Vladimir Zelensky understands that if he agrees to this deal, then he will definitely lose face, and that is because there are some territorial concessions that he's going to have to make if he wants this deal to work through. However, in President Vladimir Zelensky's case, I understand because to be honest with you, no president of a country in his right mind would give any land concessions to the enemy. However, in this case, see, here's the thing. In this case, there is no good peaceful solution to this Ukrainian problem, in my opinion, because I understand that if Zelensky gives in to the land proposal that the peace plan that Donald Trump is proposing in general, then he will lose face. Now, if Vladimir Putin of Russia gives into the peace plan and agrees to some of the demands, he may lose face in front of his people. So, like I said, there is no good solution to this problem, to this Ukrainian war problem. And to be honest with you, peace in Ukraine itself, it still may be elusive. Now, but President Vladimir Putin of Russia and President of Ukraine will eventually have to sit down and work out some sort of peace deal, because let's be brutally honest, that this war in Ukraine, whether we believe it or not, it affects us here in America too. It not only affects us here in America, but it also affects the economies of Eastern Europe as well, so such as country of Poland, etc., etc. Now we all know that America has been giving aid to Ukraine, but you have to understand in this case that our aid to Ukraine, in my opinion, has to end at some point, because on the trajectory that America is heading on now, economically, this can lead to an economic bankruptcy. I mean, and let's be brutally honest. We are printing money to sustain our economy here in America. We are printing money out of thin air. Let's be honest about that. Now, because the thing is, this aid to Ukraine, so to speak, whether we're talking about aid that's coming from Eastern Europe or United States, especially I'm talking about United States here, it can bankrupt the country, because at some point, to be honest with you, this printing money will lead to the American economic collapse. Let's leave it at that. Now, I understand. I've been watching Fox Business Network as well. And it says, yes, we have a good job. The statistics show that we have a good job, that we have good economy, that we have our unemployment level is low here in the United States, etc., etc. However, ladies and gentlemen, what I see, I have studied statistics in class, in my college class, and one thing I have learned from statistics, I didn't learn much, but what I did learn, ladies and gentlemen, is that statistics can be manipulated. So when the Bureau of Labor Statistics says that the economy is good in America, I would look at this as some sort of skepticism. I would look at everything with skepticism. Now, see, a lot of people say, "Oh, Zelensky rejected the peace plan, blah blah blah. The talks have stalled, blah blah blah." But you have to understand something. Neither of those leaders, whether Vladimir, president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, or president of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky, neither of those two guys can afford to lose face or look weak to their people. Now, is there a can the peace in Ukraine be negotiated? Well, at this point, all I will have to say is that the only solution to this Ukrainian crisis that's been going on for what, 3, 4, or 5 years now, the only solution, in my opinion, to this Ukrainian crisis is basically that those guys will have to sit down and iron a peace deal, and our President Donald Trump can certainly help with this. Is they're going to have to sit down and negotiate a peace deal. Now, is this peace deal going to involve some sort of land concessions? Obviously, yes. However, I understand to some degree that yes, this land concession is going to look bad for President of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky. I understand it, but I mean, is there any other way to actually negotiate a peace deal? Because I was watching Fox Business Network not too long ago, last week, and they had a General Jack Keane on there, ladies and gentlemen, and he said that, and I quote, this is what he said about this. He said that Ukraine is running out of recruits for their military. So there has to be some sort of peaceful settlement. Now, of course, there's not going to be a clear, in my not so humble opinion, if I'm looking at this, there's not going to be, in this Ukrainian crisis, a clear winner and a clear loser, no matter how much we would want it to be. Of course, in the perfect world, there would be one winner, one loser, and that's it. But unfortunately, in this case, this is not possible. So what I'm saying is there a possibility? Is there a peaceful solution to this Ukrainian crisis? Yes, but again, this peace in Ukraine will be elusive until these two guys grow up and sit down, and one will have to give something, and the other will have to give something. I mean, because like I said, this ongoing conflict that's going on for 5 years now, or 4 years. I'm not sure, if I'm mistaken. Please correct me, but I mean, this conflict that's going on in Ukraine, it's not economically good for either the Eastern European countries, or it's not even good for America, because I mean our economy since the 2008 financial crisis has been in shambles, ladies and gentlemen. But this ongoing conflict will can bankrupt Eastern Europe just as well as it can also bankrupt United States. Now, if you like my videos and like what I said, and by the way, I am going to leave you guys an article that I have pulled from the Fox News channel regarding this peace deal, and and you can go and read this article, because I'm going to link it in the description, and I'm also going to link it in the comments section as well. So I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I will see you in my next video.